Hey, you've mentioned now Service Champions. You were very integral as part of your marketing, growing them from like 40 to 55 million. I kind of have a two-part question for you. One, I'd love to know what impact did you have in helping that grow? Like what were some key things that you did that influenced that growth? And then two, I'd love to make it very relatable to our audience. We have a lot of people out in the audience that are kind of in that $2 to $10 million range. I'd love to know, like, what for the Joe or Jane HVAC owner that's made like 4 million a year, what should they be doing that might be applicable to what you've had in your career?
Yeah, most definitely. And when I started, they were 21 million. And when I
Oh,
left, they
wow.
were 55 million. Yeah. And when I left even more, they acquired more businesses and they merged into private equity. So they went big, right? And what I can tell you is that even at 21 million, sometimes you get there without having strategic operations in place that you really understand of how to get there, right? You're just like, I got here. I have a great call center. I have a great whatever. But this new age of AI and automation, it's kind of like the internet starting over, right? So if you're a small business, this is your time to play. This is your time to win. And I think that's the coolest thing. It just sets the level again. And if you're a large business, this becomes like a multi-operational kind of consumer behavior. But to get anywhere, you need to establish a brand in the community. And what I've learned is that doesn't matter what revenue size you are. There are other local businesses out there that need to be promoted alongside of yours. And when you bridge those two things together and you bring the community together with your brand, you're unstoppable, right? And it's the little things. It's not, I watched Lee's in Fresno go out on the street with video, and they were asking people of like, hey, what's your favorite spot to eat in town? I mean, like, it's the tiny things that you can do to be remarkable and leave a brand legacy. Now, often people think, well, it has to be like, I have to have this beautiful truck. You have to stand out in the crowd. Absolutely. But that truck has to have a story behind it. And that story is your why. And so when you're going into business, the first thing I would say for a small business is A, what's your exit strategy? B, what's your why? Right? Align these two together. What's the impact that you're going to make? And then start building a brand. Obviously, the most contractors will start with word of mouth. Great. Well, where does word of mouth take you? It takes you everywhere, right? You can put it in your pocket and give it away to whoever you see. You can hire and recruit with business cards. You can look at exceptional businesses around and be like, hey, I'd love to partner with you. What does this look like? I don't know. Often when we start businesses, we don't know. So finding a good brand and sticking with a name that makes sense, that's searchable, that makes sense to the search, developing your reputation, getting those those reviews, figuring out a way to get into ChatGPT and other LLMs for search, and always up that Google business profile or whatever they want to call it those days. That's the easiest, lowest hanging fruit. And all of the Google products will eventually be linked together. Now, right now, you're seeing like a weird search and then another weird search and then a paid search. And like Google wants to monetize everything. So, like, that's a game, right? And the last thing I would say is to really understand that marketing and advertising is an infinite game. And that means that like there are players that are playing every single day, and what one person says is right could be black hat or gray hat, which means like not tested or just testing, because the internet is basically starting over. like,
Right.
so yeah, I would just say now is your time to play. And if you're ready to play, then hit the ground hard and guerrilla market it with community first, build your brand, and never think that just because you're small doesn't mean that you can't be big. The smaller they think you are, the bigger you'll become.
So I want to dig a little on a couple things you said. That was all really good gold stuff. You talked about when we first started that conversation, you said, come up with your why and then also have your exit. Do you mean, when you say exit, do you mean your exit plan in terms of someday selling or getting out of the business? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, you can't be in there forever, right?
Okay.
And what I ran into is, what if the family doesn't want it, right? And what are the what ifs? And I feel like sometimes we're always like, well, we'll pass this down to family and this is going to be a family generated business. But there are millions out there right now that are like tired of being the person in the truck and are wanting to sell and retire, and their families don't want to take it over. So think about an exit strategy that's aligned to your why. And your why is probably your family. Your why is why you started this. Your why is the problems and solutions that you wanted to solve for people. But like, there's got to be a way out, right? We can't do this for the rest of our lives.
No, that's good feedback. It's funny. In my practice, I see a lot of family-owned businesses, and it's always just funny to see the dynamics in a family-owned business. One that sticks out to me: the father likes to do a certain type of business, and the son likes to do something else. And he's like, "The minute my dad retires, I'm doing what I want to do, and I don't care what he says." So it's just kind of funny how you get to your point, like you get these dynamics that just because it's family doesn't mean it's forever.
Right. Yeah, forever in a business, right? And the business could evolve and it could be whatever. And I'm not saying don't think about that, but like sometimes your kids don't want it.